Alright, what's up guys? So welcome back to the channel. We got my exhaust piping, we got some V-bands, we got not a ton of stuff, but we got everything we need to make the downpipe. Here's some of it that I fabricated. So I'm just gonna cut here so I can start figuring out just this first bend before I start bending down. So once I get this bend cleared, I'll start making it point down, this is the first cut right here. We'll cut this right here first, and this cut is going to be to make it go down. So we're just going to grab from here to here. So this is the pipe, we're not going to use this piece right here. It's going to connect to the V-band right here, and then this cut, hopefully with not sure how much we're going to need, but we'll measure, and wherever it ends, hopefully we can just get it to connect here. This will be sitting straight up just like that, and then once I get all that figured out and mocked up, I can finish the bottom. So this piping is, a lot of this is extra. I'm actually cutting it very close to the flange, and then it's a little bit of bend down there that I'm gonna have to figure out. But this is basically the mid pipe that it's just tacked up. A couple of spots is welded. It is welded fully right here, but in the step down area it is just tacked, and this area is tacked just in case if we have to take it out and just redegree any of this. But so we're just gonna cut this here, maybe just here for now, and then we'll put this in. Well, actually we'll just cut it off right now, so I'll be right back. So guys, so I cut off the piece, so it was like this, so chopped it there. So this part right here, it says top, this part is just gonna sit right in here just like that, and it's gonna be slightly pointed down, so it'll be something like that. As you can see, it's great clearance. So now the next part is cutting this piece. I'm gonna cut a lot about here because I'm not sure how low I'm gonna let that sit. So I'm just gonna cut just so I can mock up. I'm gonna get this part done so I could tack. I'm gonna see exactly how I want these bends to be so I can tack them in place. So I'm gonna cut this right down the middle, and I'm gonna be right back, and I'm gonna see if I could get some things tacked up. All right, give me 1 second. All right, guys. So after a couple of cutting some pieces, this is what I came up with. Nothing is tacked up. It's just mocked up. Things holding it in place. It is clearing everything. I'm only gonna tack it here one time, and then once I tack it here, I'm gonna take some of this tape off, and then I'm just gonna tack it right there one time. Nothing crazy. I'm not gonna go tacking everything yet, but I'm gonna start just tacking that because that's good placement, and then I'm gonna double check in the bottom and start tacking up the whole pipe, and then we might have our down pipe made. So I'm just gonna tack real quick, and I'll be actually no, I'm not gonna be right back. Maybe I'll film this. Oh, the can. That's perfect. All right. All right, we got 2 tacks. So I'm gonna double check it and see. I mean, shitty tacks, but it's okay. It's gonna go on the bottom and make sure everything looks good down there before I continue. All right, guys. So I checked in the bottom, looking good. So I just got 2 small tacks there, and I peeled the tape back, and I got 1 tack there. So now I'm gonna pull the whole thing apart, and I'm just gonna tack the V-band. I'm gonna tack the pipe to the actual V-band there. Actually, I might be able to hit it from here. So I'm just gonna tack that 1 time, and then I'm gonna take the whole thing out and give it a couple of tacks all the way around. We'll just give it 1 more tack on each pipe, and I'm gonna put it in there and see how it looks like. Alrighty guys, so I tacked it up in a couple places. It's tacked up down here, right here, and I tacked it up right here. So once again, here, and here. Alright, so here's the thing. I'm gonna have to mark exactly where this is sitting right now, and then I'm gonna mark exactly how much is sticking out, and then I basically need to, once I take the flange back off, I'll slide it back on into its exact position. I'm gonna Sharpie it all the way around, and then I'll take it off and I'll cut the extra, put the flange back, and then we can tack the flange back on. So we made some decent progress. This is what the downpipe is looking like fully. It's not bad. Looks crazy, like how does that fit down there, but it does, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. So I'm just gonna mark it up with some Sharpies all the way around, grind those tack welds out, and then obviously I'll mark it in here too as well. Take that off, and then I'll just cut it with the angle grinder, and we should be set. So I'm gonna take care of that right now. Alright guys, it's a new day. So I actually broke one of my V-bands because it's not actually the right size. I bought a cheaper V-band, a 2.5 inch V-band, and technically it's a 2.75 inch. So it doesn't really close as tight as I wanted it to, and I was really torquing this down, and I ended up breaking it. So what I did is I fixed it, I welded it back up, because I'm gonna just use it to continue mocking everything up. But I ordered the correct V-bands, so I ordered the proper 2.5 inch, so it will say 2.5 instead of 2.75. I don't know why they do that. Like the flanges were 2.5 inch flanges, like I measured them, but for some reason they send a 2.75 inch clamp. So this clamp is a 2.5. So I don't know if you guys can see that, 2.5. So this one closes tight and like nothing spins, and it's good. But this one was like spinning down here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna take this piece of pipe off, and I'm gonna use the V-band to V-band it back together so I could continue the downpipe. So I'm gonna show you where I'm at, and I'm gonna be right back. Alright, so I'm gonna show you how everything looks like connected. Alright guys, so this is the downpipe basically. So that's gonna go towards the exhaust, and that's on the header part right here. So I am gonna drop this into there so you guys can see how it looks like. And so basically the downpipe is made. It's all tacked up in many different places. So it's tacked up here. I'm definitely not welding up the V-band areas yet without a proper clamp that's gonna sit properly. So I am gonna wait to fully weld the V-band areas. But once I tack everything up, I can start getting the rest of the piping, welded up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mock this up. This top clamp works, so I'm gonna tighten the top clamp exactly where I want it, where it's spaced out properly, and then I will tighten this one as much as possible to kind of degree it in the bottom for where I want my piping to actually be. So I'm gonna get that in there. I'm gonna mock it up, all right, and I'll be right back. Alright, so here it is, guys. It is mocked up, the downpipe. So it starts there, as you guys can see. There's the clearance. I'll show you a view from the bottom. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to throw the intermediate shaft in there to make sure that it has bearing clearance. I almost forgot about that. It should, because I tried my best to keep it tighter to the firewall side. So there should be plenty of space for the intermediate shaft bearing to clear. So I'm going to go pull out my intermediate shaft and I'm going to put that in there, mock it up, just make sure, double check that it has proper clearance, because everything's just tacked up. So if I have to redo anything, I can do it now, you know, where it'll be a little easier. Or if I have to go a different direction, I'll do that. But I have more enough piping. If I have to go a full 2.5 inch down, I will. But I'm trying to put the stock megaphone that comes in the hood exit into this whole setup. So I'm trying to avoid it really far down the exhaust pipe, like underneath the car. I'm trying to do it sooner because it merges here. So technically this is the collector, but you know, I'm trying to get that megaphone as closest to the, technically this is where the collector is at. So if I want to make a lot of power, I got to get that as close as I can. So the thing is that it goes from 2.5 inch all the way to a 3.5 and then steps back down for a 3 inch for the exhaust. But everything is good. Everything is tightened up. There's good clearance. The O2 sensor is right there. That's where that clears. And the second O2 sensor sits slightly above the oil filter. So it's right there. So there'll be enough clearance for that. And there is clearance on the let me see if I can, I'm not gonna be able to get that shot for you, but there is clearance between the tie rod. So you know, it sits pretty close, but there is clearance. So I'm just gonna get the intermediate shaft in there, and then I'm gonna show you guys the clearance in the bottom, okay? All right, as you guys can see, the downpipe is in. It does clear the intermediate shaft bearing. So we are good to go with the setup the way it is. So I can basically now finish cutting the 3.5 inch, not the 3.5 inch, the 3 inch piping that I have. I have some 3 inch piping laying around from my old downpipe. So I got some pipe there, and I got some piping here. So I can do some pie cuts, and I'll show you guys. I'll get down there, so bear with me. And we're down here. You guys can see it's gonna be a little difficult, but so we gotta connect that. It's not touching anything. So we gotta connect that pipe with the actual exhaust. So we're gonna V-band it. I didn't want the V-band in there, but it was just what was easy to do to make sure I was able to clear. But it's fine. I'll just probably gonna take a couple of pie cuts to make that, and then I'm gonna try to get into like a couple of, like maybe a 4 inch straight. So some 4 inch straight coming down to maybe here, and then pie cut it back into that. So we'll see. I'm just gonna cut some, I'm gonna do some measuring and then cut a pipe and get the V-band onto the downpipe down here as well, so we can see what we got to do. So be right back, and I'll take care of that, guys. So before I start cutting that lower downpipe, the exhaust area, what I have noticed is there is some flex in the header. I don't know if you guys can see that in the video, but there is some flex. I mean, at the end of the day, this is designed for a hood exit. So what I'm gonna do at some point is I'm gonna weld a tab from here to the valve cover, just to help support the weight. It shouldn't break, it shouldn't crack anywhere. So I am definitely gonna just add a tab. I'm just gonna use this, well, I don't know if I want to use that same tab for the power steering, but I'm gonna add a tab somewhere onto the motor area. So I can either go from here, maybe, oh, I can go from here into that 10 right there. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. Not sure exactly what I want to do yet, but I'm definitely gonna have to support this whole thing. Like, if you look at this, there's flex. It's definitely flex, and it's also probably due to the fact that it's a two-piece. So I'm gonna have to figure something out there just to minimize the flexing under power, but not gonna worry about it yet. That's one of the last things I'm gonna do. But all right, so I'm gonna just get back to it, and I'm gonna get this downpipe finished up onto the exhaust. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so that's a little bit of gap left. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start. It's not gonna be super clean down here, but I'm not really worried. As long as this piping is attached, we're all good. So got that piece, and then I'm gonna make one more big ass pie cut to fill that in. So I just gotta take a little bit of measurements, and we should be on the way. So I just gotta see exactly what will be the best way to line this up, but we're basically 2 cuts away probably from finishing this exhaust. So pretty excited. Alrighty guys, sorry I didn't show too much of the process. I tried to, but this is a little tricky, so it takes quite a bit of focus. So it's hard to focus on filming and you know, cutting pipe and tack welding and all that stuff. So here we are. This is where it starts. Good clearance, good clearance. If I feel back here, it's not touching anything. There's about a finger gap. O2 sensor is clearing. Everything is clearing, not touching anything. If you come over here and you look down there, it's not touching the, that's just the sensor plug you see there. Let's take that out the way. Alright, so you see there, it's not touching the bearing, it's not touching the transfer case. I'm gonna come down here. Oh, sorry for the shaky cam. And a couple of pie cuts down there. Everything is clearing. So it looks good, guys. Not really, it's kind of sloppy down here, I'm not gonna lie. A couple of weird bends and stuff, but once I get this a little, I'm gonna take this out, I'm gonna tack the exhaust together, and then I can finally finish up in the rear and get that last piece of the piping done. So my exhaust is almost there, guys, but I'm gonna take this down and tack this up a bit because it's only hold on by 4 tacks in total. So definitely got to get that done before it falls apart on me, because this is pretty tricky. Alright, so I'm gonna be right back, and I'm gonna take out the exhaust system right now and tack some of that up for you guys. Alright guys, so I actually just ran out of gas on the MIG welder. It's raining out. I'm not trying to go outside in the rain right now. Pretty lazy, but I do have some flux core wire that I'm gonna use. And I'm not welding it up flux core. I'm just gonna tack it in about 5 different places on each pipe so it can hold its form. And that's basically it. And then tomorrow, if I have time, I'll go pick up some wire. I mean, not wire, sorry, some gas, and we'll weld everything up. Weld it up, weld it up, weld it up. Still got to figure out the back part. I'm not really too worried about that. That's pretty easy. And we're also going to weld up the downpipe. So that's the downpipe. That's the exhaust. And just the rest of the exhaust right there. So we're basically done mocking up the whole exhaust system. We're still going to shoot some video. I'm going to shoot some of the tacking that I'm going to do right now. And all right, enjoy. Alright guys, I'm going to turn the pipe around and add a little bit more. Alrighty guys, we're definitely done tacking this up. It'll hold. Looks good. What am I tack spot? I don't know. I think so. Oh, I think those. Yeah. Alright guys, well, it's all tacked up. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of hard to do the fitting up. I do have a small gap here, and I have another small gap on this side. It shouldn't really disturb the flow much. There's really nothing I could do about that. It was not easy to get this done. I'm not a professional when it comes to exhaust work at all. It's actually my first time doing it 100% on my own. I feel as my downpipe, I really focus on getting as clean as possible, because that's where, you know, all the performance is really going to be at. You know, 3-inch exhaust, 3-inch exhaust, you know, it should be all right. So tomorrow I'll go get gas and we'll continue this video and we will weld everything up. But for now, I'm going to take it all apart, and I might throw a couple of tacks on this as well, just in case. I don't want this coming apart, but I think it is tacked up relatively well, so we should be all right. But I'm just gonna double check, and then that's it. We're done for today, but we'll continue this video on the next day. All right, guys. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right, what's up, guys? It's about 2 days later from the last clip. So remember we tacked all this off. So basically, I couldn't finish it because I ran out of gas. So I'm gonna take the gas out and I'm gonna head to the store, fill it up, and basically, when I get back, I'm gonna weld every pipe up completely, and then the only thing we need to work on is on the back part of the exhaust. But I'm waiting on some stuff so I can do that, because basically I gotta put riv nuts on the body to hold this pipe up very securely. It was up secure enough to be able to do the downpipe, but if I start putting everything really on it, it's gonna get too heavy and it's not gonna hold, because I'm just using self-tapping screws right now to hold it in. So I'm gonna wait for the riv nut kit to basically be able to hold the full exhaust weight. So this is where I'm gonna stop for this video. So I'm just gonna go to the store, fill up the gas, and I'll be right back, and yeah, and get welding and show you guys the results. Hopefully the welds come out pretty good. Alright guys, I got the welder. I got the gas filled up. I just gotta run the wire all the way through. I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna start with, honestly, I think I'm gonna start with the downpipe. I wanna get that completely done. And then basically from the downpipe we'll move on to the exhaust. Alright guys, so I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna clear up my area and I'm gonna get welding, alright? Alright guys, I'm starting to weld it up. Alright, so I'm going to keep welding and show you the outcome. Alright, I'm going to try to make it as pretty as I can, but it's not easy. MIG welding, stainless steel, is not an easy task. And like I said, I'm pretty new to welding steel, stainless. So I'll get there, I'll get better as I started on the bottom for a reason, so the ugliest welds could be in the bottom. And these are also the easiest anyways, because they're the most flush. On the top there's small gaps. So I want to slowly get better as I get to the top. Alright guys, so I'm gonna get going and I'll show you the results when I'm done. Guys, so the welds are getting better. Not pretty still, but there is some improvements. This is the last, from here to like here was the last bead I did, compared to like the first, that was the very first bead I did. So if you look up there to here, it's starting to improve. I'm starting to understand how to do this. It's just thing, the pace changes. So I'm used to welding like thicker steel, where you can really take your time and really put a whole bunch of heat into it. It's hard to blow a hole through to thicker steel, but it's not that thick. This is like what, 16 gauge. You blow a lot of heat in this, you will blow holes, and I'm not trying to patch up holes. It makes it more annoying, and that means in the inside of the pipe is not going to be as smooth, because you have to just putting on a whole bunch of filler. So I'm trying to do this without blowing any holes to keep the inside of the pipe as smooth as possible. All right, so I'm gonna keep going. This is my next part that I'm doing. I'm gonna do this right here, from here to here, turn the pipe, and just gonna get the whole thing around. All right, guys, so I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I got all that welded. I got this V-band welded, and now I'm gonna start here. I burned a couple holes on the weld here. Very ugly. Do not want to show you. I had to patch it up. So what I did was I actually felt like it was too much heat in the end of the day. Like, so I dialed the heat down a little bit, kept the wire speed, and then it came out much better. There's definitely enough heat. So I'm just letting this cool down before I take it off the V-band. So when I take it off, I'm going to check on the other side and look at the penetration to see if it penetrated enough. If it did, and I'll continue with that setting all the way around. But it should be good. We're getting there, guys. And this will be heat wrapped, so even if it comes out ugly, you know, it'll be hidden. But alright, so I'm gonna continue welding, guys, and I'll be back. Alright, guys, the downpipe is done. That's one piece. That's the other piece. Some of it looks good, some of it doesn't. So here's some of the okay welds here. Yeah, some spots came out pretty shitty, but it's just hard, you know. But I got pretty nice welds there. It's just, you know, it's the lack of experience. You know, I'm not a professional at this, like I said. But at least the downpipe is fully welded, is done. Obviously, I welded it with all the V clamps on it, the V bands, my bad. But all right, so now I'm gonna get into the exhaust work, which is gonna be extremely difficult because there's a lot of gaps. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually not gonna put a lot of heat into it yet. I'm gonna fill up the gaps, and then I'm gonna go for a lot more heat to hopefully I can do a lot better here. I saved this for last because it's difficult, so I want to make sure I do penetrate really well with this one without blowing too many holes. So this was good practice. As you can see, from the bottom to the last welds came out pretty nice. I am gonna wrap this stuff, so before I continue welding, let me just show you. Alright, here you go. So I got exhaust wrap, which I am gonna use. So once I'm done welding this, I'm gonna start wrapping this and start putting everything back in the car. So alright, guys, I'll be right back and show you the progress. Alright, guys, so alright, finally got the manifold in. It's actually been quite a while since the last clip you just watched. The flange was, it's not warped, but like the holes were off by like 2 millimeters, so I had to kind of drill it out. But also one more thing that I did was, check it out. So I decided to weld that together. So I mean, yeah, it's not making the manifold look as pretty, but now, before, this shit was shaking, you know, like, I don't know, I just didn't want to like air to leak out from anywhere, so I got it as tight as I could. But yep, we're ready to do the downpipes now. So we're gonna just test fit the downpipes. So this is the top right here, and that's for the bottom, and then this is the actual exhaust, half of it at least. Alright, I'm gonna get this in the car and see what the fitment is like. Like I said, I'm gonna wrap this, and I'm gonna clean this before we actually do the first start of the car, which is eventually coming, hopefully in a few more weeks. Just want to get everything dialed in. Like I want this car to basically turn on without an issue. So hopefully that's what happens. But alright, let me get the downpipe in and the exhaust so you guys can see what it looks like. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, guys, here it is. We're done. I'm not gonna lie, the pipe came close to a couple of areas. I'm guessing since I filled in a couple of gaps, it kind of pulled the piping a little bit, so it kind of threw my measurements off a little bit. But there is space. There is space behind the tie rod, which is good. Not as much as before, but it should be fine. And it's very close to the transfer case, but it's cleared. Everything is lined up pretty well, and that's the exhaust setup, guys. That's done. So now all I gotta do is wrap all this stuff up. But yeah, man, I'm pretty happy. It looks good. Not bad, man. I'm not gonna lie. Some of my welding came out pretty decent. Look at that. Wow. Alright, guys. So that's it for this video. I know it's a long video, but just trying to you know, give you guys some good content, you know, show you some of the process. But yep, here's a shot. That's how it looks now. All motor, all wheel drive RSX. So now I'm just gonna work on what I have left is basically the fuel line, and that's basically it, guys. I think I'm pretty much done. I'm gonna take the transmission back out just so I could put a brand new throttle bearing. It finally came in. There's a twin disc, and it was taking a while to come in, so I was like, let me just put it up. But it came in, so I might as well just drop it, put the new one in, and yep, then just get fluids in here, guys, and get a K-Pro. We're pretty set. I'm not gonna make my intake yet. That's a little bit down the line. There's really no need. I'm not getting the cartoon yet, but I just want to, you know, start the car and stuff and kind of start breaking in the motor. And once the motor is almost broken in, I'll get an intake on there and start fabbing one up. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. Also, I also made a mount for the catch can. So, you know, it's not crazy. Like, it does move, but I mean, it's a catch can. Where is it gonna go, right? So here he goes. Well, it's actually not even tightened down all the way. But yeah, that's the mount. Alright guys, till next time. Peace.